Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smoten with your Friday, July 23rd market update. Of course, on the economic front, really all we had today was the around noon the EU bank stress test results on the 91 banks, and I mean it was not even worth talking about. There was not really nothing to it. CNBC just wasted a bunch of money flying Simon over there, which I guess he was his home anyway. So there was really much ado about nothing, and I don't know. We'll see how the weekend goes because that's really when everyone will go through the analysts will go through the results and I think there was some Spanish banks that actually about four of them or something that didn't meet the test, but I don't know. Test didn't seem supposedly from what from what I understand it wasn't as robust as people would like to have seen. So the market, is still a great day in the market. So the dollar and gold and oil were down today. Silver was mostly flat. Copper was up. So that was a good thing. Light sweet crude futures were only down 32 cents and we settled at $78.98 a barrel. So take a look at the dollar. We're a little weaker here. We still got this trend line support. Now I did notice, and of course divergences can take a long time to play out, and sometimes they don't even play out. Now I will notice that the dollar's going down. This is the dollar ETF. The MACD is making higher lows, but yet we're falling. So I think there's a chance the dollar could stop falling here at some point, and like I said, divergences can last for a while and sometimes they don't even play out. I mean, this could roll over and do this and the MACD wind up down here, but it definitely looks like the dollar's just not going to totally fall out of bed here. And I'll show you on the euro, the FXE, since we're at it, that so here we are, we're going up in the FXE, the euro ETF. Well, we're getting lower highs on the MACD here. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure we're totally safe now for investing or swing trading yet. Next week will probably help us and tell us a lot. But I'm definitely warming up to the way the market is right now. I mean, we had a great week, so you know you got to play the trend. Over to the West Texas point and figure chart, West Texas Intermediate Crude point and figure chart. We still did not print that 80, so we're still on a sell signal. As soon as we print 80. This prior column of X's will put us back on a buy signal on crude, so we're still stuck in this range, but we're at the high end now. So we'll be watching for that. Take a look at the Dow. So the Dow closed up 102 points at 10,424. S&P closed up 9 points to 1,102. NASDAQ closed up 23 points to 2269, and the Russell closed up 15 points to 650. The Russell had the largest percent gain, up 2.39%, and the S&P had the smallest percent gain, up 0.82%. Volume was another pretty decent day, kind of this summer volume average that we've been getting, which is decent. So we did break out over these prior highs here. Of course, we obviously haven't taken out this high, so I mean, for now, we're still making lower highs until we take this out. But it's very promising. The MACD's turned up. We've gotten back above the 50-day moving averages here, the NASDAQ, most importantly the NASDAQ, and now we just need to see if institutions are wanting to keep buying and hold us above these 50-day moving averages. Let's over to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, the goldish orangish lines, the 50-day. So we did go right through the 200. I was a little concerned about this 200 above us. The black line's the 200-day moving average. We went flying through that, wasn't a problem. So looks good. It is overbought, and I'll go over that here on the McClellan. We go through that. Let's go over to the S&P. Again, took out these highs here back from July the 13th, looking really good. Held up well. Obviously we closed near the highs, which is usually a very bullish sign, and so we're looking good. Now we'll note, just to point out what I'm seeing, 60-day, 60-day, 60-minute, 60-day, and 60-minute chart, which I often look at. We have come out of this kind of a channel, and then actually the Russell, you can tell it better. We've been in this channel, and we are out of that channel. But I will note that here, the MACD is lower than where it was here, even though we went just a little higher here See, we've got a lower MACD on the 60-minute chart. Now that just means we might be in for a pullback. It doesn't mean the market's going to fall apart. I mean, it could, but I don't know. I mean, it's going to take some kind of news to do that. So we might pull back into this area. Should have support around this 1,090. We could pull back down here. So that's something to watch, though. We are having a little bit of bearish divergence on the 60-minute chart. And the Russell, we finally, which we had been watching forever, these gold lines, we are about out of this channel down we've been in for quite some time here, back since started actually the end of April, beginning of May. We've been bouncing back and forth, and so we broke out of it. So that's looking pretty good. Let's see, look at gold. Gold is still struggling. It's got a tight consolidation. It's not, I mean, it's not too bad, but it's still struggling around here. Silver's actually a little stronger. Silver looks a little stronger than gold. Copper has been the strongest. It does have some resistance possibly up here around near the 43, 42.90 mark, which would be this prior high here. So watch for volume. We've had really good volume coming in copper, and of course FCX has been doing well, as well as SCCO, Southern Copper. Let's see, the VIX. VIX still hanging around here. Seems to have some support around here. Let's look and see if we got, and we've got some definitely got some divergence here. So we've got a little bit of bullish divergence here from here to here and here to here. So we got, but we've also got a little here. So we'll have to just wait for this to play out. So we're kind of in this you know, pivotal spot here. But by looking at the MACD, it looks like the VIX definitely could bounce and move higher at some point. Take a look at the SOX. Look at the semis. Again, semis look good. The MACD's turned up higher here. We broke out above this here, right here. I mean, we not much though. Didn't move a whole lot. Semis are kind of slowed down their performance a little bit, but still looking fine. The TNX 10-year, not back above the $3 mark, but we're got this downtrend line, so we'll watch how that plays out. MACD's turned back up. Let's go over and look at the McClellan oscillator for the overbought, oversold conditions. So here's the oscillator on the NYSE. We are pretty high at 79. We're definitely overbought. You know, we've had quite a move here last couple of days. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Oh, great. So the NASDAQ, we're at 60, so not quite as overbought, but we are in overbought territory on both of those. See, let's take a look at the 6 sectors. These sectors, 14 of the 16 sectors that follow finished in the green. Home construction index was up the most, 2.16%, which I thought that was interesting, but since we've had all this bad housing data out, but I think that they're trying to buy what's cheap, and home construction, most of the home builders have been super sold off hard. So I think they're trying to, you know, buy what's low instead of buying what's breaking out at 52-week highs right now. I mean, there are obviously some exceptions to that, but that's the only thing I can think of is why they're doing it now. I guess they're just expecting the economy does look better than previously thought, at least by some people. So the drugs were the weakest. They were down 1.12%. Of course, we don't do chart watch on Fridays. I'll post my weekly watch list on Sunday evening. Let's go back over to the current market signals with all the point figure chart for the Dow, Nasdaq, S&P. And like I mentioned yesterday, when we print 1100, we go back on a buy. We did. So our point and figure, now we've got Nasdaq and S&P both on buy signals. We've got a new price objective for the S&P at 1,190. Of course, depends on price movement if we're going to get there. So here's the point and figure on the S&P. We did print a X at the 1100 mark, which is one box higher than the previous column of X's. And this is our new price objective for now. Looking at the Dow, since it's still on a sell. So we're still at a sell. We need to print this right here, prior column of X's. So we need to print 10,450, and we'll go on a buy signal on the Dow, and we still got this a little bit of a trend line resistance here. We pushed right against it. But so we need to watch for 10,450. And again, I think it would be healthy if we could do some sideways action here and kind of, start building a base so we could go higher would be great, or a slight pullback and possibly buy the dip. So that is it for today, and I'll have my watch list out this weekend. So thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.